The federal minimum wage began in the 1930s by President Franklin Roosevelt because of the Great Depression. The minimum wage began at 25 cents and has been increased 22 times. The most recent increase in the minimum wage was in 2009 when it went from $6.55 to $7.25. Advocates of a federal minimum wage state that the current minimum wage, $7.25 per hour, is too low for anyone to live on and say that a higher minimum wage will help create jobs and grow the economy. But others have said that a lot of businesses can't afford to pay their workers more and will be forced to close, fire workers, or hire less people. I am going to be talking about the pro side of the argument. The first point I want to talk about is that the current minimum wage is not high enough to allow people to afford housing. In 2015, the National Low Income Housing Coalition made a report saying that a person needs to earn at least $15.50 per hour, which is over 2 times the federal minimum wage, to be able to afford to rent an average one-bedroom apartment. And in Rollins County, Kansas, a place that has some of the most affordable rental costs in the country, the living wage, including housing costs for one person with no dependents, is estimated to be $9.35, which is 25.3% higher than the federal and Kansas state minimum wage. The second point I want to talk about is the current minimum wage is not high enough to allow people to afford everyday essentials. In 2013, Oxfam America took a poll that showed 66% of U.S. workers earning less than $10 an hour report that they just meet or don't have enough to meet their basic living expenses, and 50% say that they frequently worried about affording basic necessities such as food. A 2015 report by the Alliance for a Just Society said the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour represents less than half of the living wage for a single adult, and that a worker supporting only himself would have to work 93 hours at the federal minimum wage to be able to make ends meet or have to skip necessities like meals or medicine.